Hello and welcome to Makeshift Minis. Today I'm going to see what I can make from casts of previous projects. I only have a vague idea of what I want to build, and I'm excited to see where my muse takes me. I gather parts by casting multiple of my undead minis. After casting them, I'd cut them up to make them easier to store and look for interesting pieces. I start sifting through the parts looking for something that stands out. I decided to use the large torso as a base and things start to come together in my head. With a rough idea of how I want to progress, I get to work on putting things together. After assembling the arms, I fit them to the body to make sure everything lies in place nicely. They do need a bit of reinforcement, but they'll fit just fine. The pieces I have available are a little too short to use as the legs. With that in mind, I trim pieces to shape and glue them together. Bulk of what I've decided to call a Death Knight complete, I begin adding decorations and detail pieces. This includes pauldrons, knee pads, and a sword. With the mini complete, I begin preparing to attach it to the base. I start by drilling holes on the feet so I can attach wires to pin it down. Attaching the wires is easy enough. All I have to do is put a wire in, trim it to length, and then glue it in place. The tricky part is doing everything on camera without my hands getting in the way. Once the pins are on the feet, I glue down the Death Knight to the base. After that, I add some borax to give the base some texture. After priming the Death Knight, I decided to go with the underpainting method. The base coat takes a lot longer than I expected it to because of all the small areas. Once the base coat dries, I dry brush on a medium gray. This really starts to bring out the details and textures, especially the feathers. For the last part of the undercoat, I dry brush on white. With the undercoat done, I start adding color. I paint the arms, legs, and sword a nice silver. Metallic paint is always tricky to work with, however I always find it turns out nicely with an undercoat. I paint the skirt and cape blue while being careful to avoid other areas. I was pleasantly surprised to find out how well the blue worked with the undercoat. After the other areas are dry, I paint the body and head an ivory color. This doesn't work as well as I'd hoped and comes out oddly pallid. The base gets a simple coat of light brown. It looks pretty good since all the shading is done with the undercoat. With the Death Knight finally done, I paint the rim of the base black. Once the paint dries, I give it a coat of matte varnish, and then it's on to the glamour shots. The Death Knight turned out a lot better than I anticipated. I'm especially proud of how the feathers turned out. I like how most of the colors came out, except for the main body. That didn't turn out how I wanted. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Take care, be well, and until next time.